Hello YouTube, this is the Kona Mahuna. This is Ross speaking from the Frothy Bike Co. Let's run through all the main points about the bike. If you're thinking about buying one, this is the video you need to see. IRP price in the UK is $949, so it's not too bad, just under the £1,000 mark, and the weight point for this is 14.5 kilos as it sits. There's no pedals on this, but as it sits in the jig just now, it's 14.5 kilograms. Not too bad for a 29-inch wheel, sub £1,000 bike. I'll be honest, you'll not really get much lighter than that below £1,000. Above £1,000 US, you'll save yourself some weight, but weight isn't really the main point you're buying this bike for. It's the fun of going out mountain biking. Wheel size, 29-inch wheels, and the tyres that are on it are 2.35s, so they're not too narrow a tyre. You could put slightly wider on, there's a little bit of clearance there. Maxxis Forecasters, they're not a super duper tyre model, absolutely fine for starting off mountain biking. The wheels themselves are tubeless ready, so these are WTB rims, tubeless ready, tubeless taped. All you need to do is put a tubeless valve in it and put some tubeless sealant into the tyre. The tyre's not officially a tubeless tyre, but I'm a mechanic, I've done it plenty of times in the past. You're absolutely fine to run tubeless inside this tyre. It might not work absolutely 100%, but it will still seal the thorns and the little bits of glass or holes you get put in your tyre. The tubeless will still work there. 100mm lockout air front forks from RockShox. These are duties. If you're buying this bike and it's your first mountain bike, I would suggest you get yourself a shock pump, around about £20 to £25 from a local bike shop or from us. It does come with a chart down the side here, so you want to adjust the air pressure underneath this cap here. There's a standard Schrader valve, just like in a car tyre. Adjust that air pressure to your weight using the chart down here and adjust your pressure. Lockout, so you'd lock the front suspension for climbing and then you'd open it up for descent. Brakes on this bike, hydraulic mineral oil brakes, so these are from Shimano, a really standard Shimano lever setup here, really bog standard, decent body that's on them with quite a long lever, but long lever means good leverage, good braking power. From Europe, straight out the box, like I say, because it's a European bike, the brakes are the wrong way around. If you buy it from a reputable bike shop, online or in person, they should be switching the hoses over for you, so your left-hand lever is your back brake. If they don't, you're going to need to do this yourself or take it to a local bike shop. It is just an 8mm socket, 8mm spanner to switch the barbs across. You will inevitably get some air into the system when you do that, so you're going to need to bleed your brakes as well and set them up. So it's not a really quick job. We do it in the bike shop here pretty quickly, but if you're doing it at home, maybe better looking at a couple of YouTube videos before you do it. The rotors that come with this, 180 in the front, 160 in the rear, these are centre lock onto these wheels, so if you're upgrading these rotors, remember and buy centre lock rotors, not 6-bolt rotors. These are organic or resin only discs that come with the bike. I would suggest a good upgrade for this to get better braking power without spending too much money is to change these out for some centered rotors and put some centered pads in these. Shimano Ice Tech rotors would be like the all singing all dancing rotors to fit into this, and some good centered pads would dramatically increase the braking power far better than changing the whole braking system out and spending a lot of money on the braking system from that point of view. Downside with the wheels, these are quick release. This is a quick release wheel bike, so you can't really upgrade to too high a end of wheel. So if you're riding this bike twice or thrice a week, within the first year you'll be doing the bearings and the hubs, and then the following year you're probably looking at buying a new set of wheels for it, because these are cup and cone bearing wheel hubs, so they're not going to last a long time. You can't buy that high end of wheel for a quick release. You're kind of limited to what you can buy, especially 29er. Ideally, if you're going to be doing serious mountain biking, it's bolt through axles that you're looking for, so bolt through front and bolt through rear. From that point you can go to any number of different wheels from different brands and high-end setups. Dropper seat post, it is applicable for this bike. It doesn't come with one in it. It comes with a solid Kona seat post, WTB saddle, which is quite highly rated. I do suggest you try the saddle out, don't just chuck it in the bin. You can run a dropper seat post, left-hand lever, run the cable around the outside of the headset, into the down tube here, back out the down tube here, and then it crosses over into the seat post here, and then run stealth from there on up. Remember, you're limited, your bolt on your bottle cage here, double bottle cage mount on this bike, your bolt on the top bottle cage of the seat post does limit the size of the seat post the dropper seat post you can run. A 170mm would be absolutely fine for this. A 200 from like a brand X would maybe have the collar sitting out slightly above the actual collar of the frame. If you're running a 200 on this, and it's a large frame already, you might be better thinking about upgrading to an XL size frame, because if you're running a 200, your sizes on the bike, your saddle's going to be sitting way too high above the handlebars, and your geometry is not going to be sorted out well for you. Group set on this bike, square taper bottom bracket. This adds a little bit of weight to it. When we talked about the weight at the start, most of the extra weight on this bike, especially if you go above the £1,000 mark, you're getting lighter weighter forks and you're getting a better crank set on it. Square taper bottom bracket, a little bit heavy. They are chunky, they are bomb-proof. As a mechanic, I love replacing square taper bottom brackets. Nothing can really go wrong with them. If the bearings are gone, you can rip them out quite easily, and you can replace them. They're cheap to replace, £12 to £18 for a reasonable square taper bottom bracket. Every bike shop in the world stocks square taper bottom brackets, whereas other styles of bottom bracket are a bit harder to come across. KMC chain on this, it's 11-speed Dior, so we've got a 28 tooth fat thin on the front. It is removable chain ring, so if you want to upgrade the chain ring size, if you're doing more road work or faster mountain biking, you can upgrade that just by changing the chain ring. You don't need to change the cranks. 175mm cranks on these. 11 to 51 tooth rear cassette from Shimano. This is a Dior model of cassette, so it is a standard locking cassette on it. 11-speed, like we say. The Dior rear mech clutch fitted to it, so that's the clutch off, clutch on. When the clutch is on, your rear mech doesn't flap about, your chain doesn't hit off, your chain stay there. When the clutch is off, this is you can take it off because you have to remove the back wheel if you get a puncher. When the clutch is off, you'll see the chain doesn't half wobble about. So buying a clutch rear mech, especially when you're 10, 11 or 12 speed, is a must. If it's an 11-speed bike without a clutch rear mech, don't buy it. There's something wrong with it. There's either the wrong rear mech, or some manufacturers kind of went super cheap. Mounting points in the back, you can fit full mudguards to this. It's got mounting point down on the bottom bracket bridge here. There is space here for zip tying up over the top bridge here. There's plenty of bolt mounts for a rear pannier rack if you should go down that line. We have done these bikes in the past with slick tyres and rear pannier rack and bigger front chainring for customers. It is a comfy all-rounder bike. What else have I missed on the bike? Seat post, seat, frame. It's a large frame that we've tested. So similar on this bike to the Cinder Cone, so I'm going to do a comparison video on the price points as well as similarities. Handlebar width in this is 760mm handlebars. Most folk will sell 800 to end up cutting them down anyway, so you're pretty good to go there. I think I've covered everything. Any hints or tips in the videos, folks, or any major points that I've missed, please let us know. I'll either re-record it or leave a wee video link below. Thanks for watching.